Hey everyone, so it's been almost a year since the iPhone 16 came out, and you know how it is. The initial hype, the reviews, it all fades. What you're left with is, well, the phone you actually have to live with. Is it still worth it in 2025? Should you buy one now, keep the one you have, or maybe wait for the iPhone 17? That's what we're going to figure out today. Full disclosure, this is my pink iPhone 16. It's been my secondary phone, mostly for reviews and testing like this, which is why the battery health is still at a perfect 100%. But the most interesting part, it's running the latest iOS 26 public beta too. So we're not just looking at the hardware after a year. We're looking at the software experience on the absolute cutting edge. So let's rewind to late 2024. The big story with the iPhone 16 wasn't some radical redesign, it was about value. Apple took features that used to be exclusive to the expensive Pro models and brought them down to the standard iPhone. I'm talking about the action button, which replaced the mute switch, and this brand new camera control button right here on the side. The promise was a more pro experience without the pro price tag, and honestly, a lot of people, myself included, felt like Apple really narrowed the gap. It was a deliberate strategy to make the standard model feel more capable, reducing that pro model FOMO that so many of us feel. The thinking was clear: differentiate the pro models almost exclusively by the ProMotion display and the telephoto camera, and for everyone else, make the standard iPhone the default best choice. It felt like the cheap iPhone had never looked better. Okay, so how does it feel a year later? Honestly, fantastic. The aluminum frame and matte glass back still feel premium, and they do a decent job of resisting fingerprints. And this pink, it's not the washed out rose gold of the past. It's a proper vibrant pink, and I know from reading forums that a lot of people absolutely love it. Some even trading in their Pro Max just for this color. It's held up really well, no major scratches thanks to that ceramic shield front, which is supposedly 50% tougher than previous generations. But we have to talk about the display. It's a beautiful 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED screen. It's sharp, gets incredibly bright outdoors, up to 2000 nits, and I love that it can go down to just 1 nit for nighttime reading without disturbing anyone. But, and this is the big one, it's still 60 Hz. In 2025, when you can get 90 or 120 Hz on phones that cost a fraction of this, it's a tough pill to swallow. For me, I personally just can't use an $800 phone with a 60 Hz screen. For many, it's the single biggest compromise and the main reason to either go pro or look elsewhere. And this isn't an accident. It's Apple's most powerful tool for pushing people to the more expensive Pro models, and it creates a built-in reason for iPhone 16 owners to feel the itch to upgrade when the next model comes out. Under the hood, we've got the A18 chip. A year on, this thing is still incredibly fast. It handles everything I throw at it without a stutter. For those who care about the numbers, I just ran Geekbench 6 and got a 3216 single core and an 8053 multi-core score. That's right up there with the launch benchmarks, which were around 7900 for multi-core, so performance has not degraded at all. But the real story for me is iOS 26. This public beta 2 has been, in my experience, a huge step up. The whole system feels more fluid, the new animations are smoother, and Apple seems to have really tweaked the thermal management. The phone just runs cooler, and the battery life feels more consistent than on earlier betas. I really appreciate the work they've done here. Let's talk battery. For a phone this size, it's really solid. The battery capacity is around 350-61 mAh. Most reviews at launch and my own experience show it can comfortably last a full day of typical use and sometimes even a day and a half. GS Marina's tests gave it an active use score of over 15 hours, which is impressive. Now the cameras. The iPhone 16 has an advanced dual camera system, headlined by a 48 megapixel main sensor. This lets it shoot super high-res 24 megapixel or 48 megapixel photos, and it also enables a really clean 2x optical quality telephoto crop, which is a great feature to have. The ultra-wide camera also got an upgrade, and it can now take macro photos, which is a fantastic addition that used to be a Pro-only feature. And because the cameras are aligned vertically, it can capture spatial video for the Vision Pro. For most people, this camera system is excellent, it's versatile, and takes beautiful photos. The main limitation, of course, is the lack of a true optical telephoto lens for longer zoom shots. If you're someone who goes to concerts or needs that reach, you'll definitely miss the 5x zoom on the Pro models. Okay, let's dive deeper into iOS 26 because it's a huge part of the experience now. The headline feature is liquid glass. It's this new design language with translucent glassy elements everywhere. When it first came out in the early betas, a lot of people didn't like it. There were major complaints about text being hard to read, especially in the control center. But Apple has been refining it. On this public beta, it feels much more polished. The animations are bouncier, the control center background is more frosted and legible, and it just feels more cohesive. My personal experience has been really smooth, but it's important to know that for many beta testers, it's been a rough ride with overheating and major battery drain. So while I'm optimistic, the final version really needs to nail the performance for everyone. Now for Apple Intelligence. The iPhone 16 supports it, which is great. It promises to rewrite your emails, summarize notes, create images, and make Siri smarter. And when it works, it's pretty neat. But here's the honest truth. For me, it's not a deal breaker that it's still in beta. Why? Because right now, the AI tools I actually use every day are frankly more powerful. I'm talking about ChatGPT and Google's Gemini. Gemini is amazing for its deep integration with Google Apps, and ChatGPT is just, well, it's ChatGPT. It's become the Kleenex of AI chatbots. Apple was a bit late to the generative AI game, and announcing an ambitious but incomplete suite under a beta tag is a way to manage expectations while they play catch up. This creates a situation where the iPhone becomes this fantastic piece of hardware, and the great thing about iOS is that I can run these incredibly powerful mature AI apps on it. So I get Apple's secure polished OS with the... So the final verdict for new buyers. Honestly, I'd probably tell you to wait. As you can see from this video, the iPhone 16 is caught in a tough spot. The used price is already down to the $600 range, and the iPhone 17 is rumored to bring 120Hz screens to all models, which is a massive upgrade that would fix this phone's biggest weakness. For current iPhone 16 owners, are you happy? If the 60Hz screen doesn't bother you and you don't need more zoom, this is still a fantastic phone that will get software updates for years. But if that screen is your main frustration, the iPhone 17 Pro or even the standard 17 could be the upgrade you've been waiting for. For upgraders from an iPhone 13 or older, this is where the iPhone 16 could be a great deal. You're getting the dynamic island, a much faster chip, the action and camera control buttons, and a huge camera upgrade. If you can find a good deal on a new or used one, it's a very worthy upgrade that will feel like a huge leap forward. So that's the iPhone 16 1 year later. It's a phone of compromises, but also one that got a lot of things right. I'm really curious to hear from those of you who have one. What has your experience been like? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.